Babylon. This map's been pretty solid. Been fun to watch it. I always feel like every time I go into Babylon, I'm quite excited to see what goes down. The top left, our red Zerg from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. Of course, it's an all Dragon Kaiser Gaming finals here. This is the most winning player of all time in the ESL Open Cup career. It is dark. He has won 25 of these 177 tournaments. In the bottom right, he's won 19 of them. It's herO. 34. Nope, 25 plus 19 is not 34. 44 out of 177. They have... Well, I guess actually because this is 177, it's actually going to be 45, because one of them will get next one. So 45 out of 177. Between these two players, they have won a quarter of all of the ESL Open Cup careers over the last 3 years. It's kind of ridiculous, right? Especially when you consider, I think especially that Dark for a long time didn't play in these. Like, that might not be so crazy. You're taking two of the best players in the career, and you think about it right now, sure. I think what's really crazy is how much they've won in the last year or two. Because obviously herO was in the military when these cups started. Dark didn't really play in open cups. He would play them now and again, but a lot of the time he would just, especially when GSL was on, he wouldn't play. So when you consider that they've won a quarter of all of them between them, and there's probably like at least, I'd say like a quarter where neither of them played, perhaps. That's kind of ridiculous, right? Proby scouting around. Let's find our Obsend. Apparently we're watching a drone move back and forth. As that probe comes around, it's just going to be seeing our Cybercore coming up. And yeah, Cybercore, Nexus, everything getting going. Dark and herO have played a lot this year. It's been one of my favorite kind of rivalries, if you want to call it rivalry. To kind of watch, just because it has happened so much. And for a while, it really felt like, herO could do no wrong. He won a few in a row against Dark. In fact, he won 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row before Dark won the most recent meeting in the Kung Fu Cup. They just play so much, man. They've played 4 times in May. They played 1, 2. Just how many times they played this year? How about I just tell you guys that? Because I think that alone is going to be an interesting stat. Because they've played so much. Yeah, so this year, herO is 12-4 in series, 36-22 in maps. So herO's definitely had it, going his way. And they've played 16 times this year. That's kind of ridiculous, man. That is kind of ridiculous. Like I say, Dark, I do feel like Starter have... Like, he had a really bad run at the start of the year, and then he had a bad run more recently, too, but... We'll see what he brings today. I do feel like the Protoss players at the moment have just got some killer instincts. The builds they're using, these oracles into the aggressive, the oracles into the aggressive, stalkers and everything, and they're just finding so much damage early game and all the rest of it. Things coming around, Queen coming through, Adept is going to come around the top as we're going to get Adept... Trying to get some damage. So we lost a couple of workers early to a Ling getting in. This is going to be 1 Adept for 2 drones, which is really nice. We're going to get a Ling as well. That's a shame because maybe that could have actually been a drone as well. Although maybe this time Dark would have microed it into a Spore Crawler. All Lings coming across the map. herO's defense. His wall is good. The Adept is there. The Adept will hold. He's going to break through that front line doorstep. They're actually going to get in then. herO's Oracle, though, got huge damage done. 6 kills on it. As back on the other side of the map. Is anyone watching? Okay, I'll observe, because I feel like everyone's watching the things I don't want to see. So, the Lings got in. They actually did get deflected and defended, so that's kind of impressive. That's kind of nice. I was just going to be seeing our, otherwise, couple of pylons, Adept setting up. We're going to try and get defensive again. Overall, still great for herO. Dark broke in, but he didn't really do any damage, and that's the issue. If you're going to break in, then you kind of want to get the damage done to start making the difference, right? And that's just not obviously just not being the case here. This couple drones keep manning. The couple Lings head down to the bottom side of the map. The Oracle will continue through the center. herO heading towards the upper left-hand side. And just going to get to the top as a couple queens jump onto the Oracle straight away. It moves through the natural. A couple queens dealing some damage. Oracle taking a lot of shots. And just going to be seeing the Lings heading down to the bottom side as our Adepts will take a little bit more damage as well. Getting surrounded here. 3 drones have gone down, so the Oracle's doing a decent job of that. And these Adepts just coming through with the Oracle to help push this back. 3 drones going down, a few Lings. Massive Stasis Ward actually got caught as well, so kind of a big deal, right? Just a lot of success from herO still. I mean, for everything that herO's doing, I feel like Dark is not responding. And that's 7 more drones. My goodness. Units lost 15, 20 in terms of drones and Lings, and then you've got yourself 3 probes to 5 I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous, right? It's just a lot of damage done from herO, and especially just workers going down. And okay, Dark is going to do a good old Queen Walk. Don't see Queen Walks every day nowadays. They're not really in the meta. We're going to do one here. How prepared is herO? A couple batteries coming up. Twilight on the way, but not ready yet. Obviously, these queens do not have creep, so they can't transfuse. These queens are quite literally just going to be some damage against the Oracles one time, and that is it. So this isn't even as powerful as you might think it is, although herO really doesn't have a lot here. He's got 2 more Oracles coming back home. He's got 3 Oracles here as well. These Oracles need to zap down the queens, man. Again, no transfusions mean that these Oracles should be able to do decently at least, but we lose 1. Has herO just gone a little bit too heavy on the Oracles? I think so, and just not knowing it was coming across the map meant, again, just flying over the queens with a couple of the Oracles initially was kind of painful and taking more damage than he really would have wanted to. herO's third base is in some trouble, and Dark with that killer instinct. Just going to get straight across, and for the moment is doing well. Obviously, killing the third base of the pros is a great start. Is it everything you need? No, probably need a bit more. Dark only has 31 drones. Super Battery is trying to hold a Zealot at the front. Another Oracle showing up. Dark is still making units too, so it's not like he's droning, taking the chance to drone behind this. He really feels like he has got to get the killing blow right now. So this is all or nothing from Dark. There's our Oracles. They're just going to commit. I mean, again, there's only really queens that don't have transfusions available. That makes this a very uninspiring army, and once the queens are dead, the Oracles do have free reign. We're going to start losing some probes here. The Oracles will run out of energy shortly, but they've done a lot. It's only really Lings left over. Another Oracle starts. Do we have any other warp-ins? Has Dark done enough? The consistent unit production might be what really wins him this game, because now he just has extra Lings floating through at a rate that I don't think herO can deal with. He doesn't have the energy on the Oracles to clean this up before serious damage is done. That is GG, and Dark is going to have the first game of this best of 5. Sorry, it says best of 3 on the screen. I guess the Oracle energy really was just low, and just not having the Oracles have energy at the end of that was really a shame. They didn't have the energy to do enough over time. Top left up 1. Our red Zerg player is Dark in this Dragon Kaiser Gaming Showdown in our finals. Bottom right, our blue Protoss player, it's herO. New Humanity then. Fun map. A little bit different. See what it's going to bring us. As a probe comes to the top side to get a bit of a scout off to begin with here. So Probe just going to come and scout a little bit, see what's going on. A little bit of a patrol as our drone will come down the low ground and nibble at that probe, and we just get into a little bit of a run around, a little bit of a fight. Nothing too crazy as our drone keeps on blocking this location. Patch, gas, drone. Very soon a spawning pool. And this forward base from Doug obviously suggests he's going to be quite the aggressive player here in this game number 2. And it says, hey, look, I'm going to come forwards. I'm going to fight you. I'm going to get up in your face, use that rich Vespene gas to really benefit in the early stages. So expecting that to be at least a little bit of a factor here. As our Nexus goes down, the Cybercore will get started again. It's about halfway done. It's going to see the probe dropping down the island for a couple of moments. And again, hatch, gas, and pool all coming in for the second. A couple extra drones coming up. And just going to be seeing our assimilator dropping down in the main base. Two queens, 4 lings. All of this being brought up at the moment. we do have our Adept just going to start shading across the map. Again, it's the Rich Vespine guys that I think Doc is really maybe looking to make use of early. This is why he'll say, hey, look, I'll take this base, I'll take it forward, I'll be a bit risky with it. He will take that risk because he feels like that Rich Vespine can perhaps give him a bit of an advantage, give him some hope and dreams as we move through here. Couple drones deposit some minerals back onto this hatchery. Now, Warloff is going to be good. Couple Lings not able to get through there. The Adept going to try and shade toward the top once again. Adept is going to continue through onto the hatch, and a couple of Lings continue to work their way onto that pylon, so doing a pretty decent job of that for the moment. As we turn back around, pylon is going to cancel. Step shit away, one drone going down. Two probes going across, couple Lings getting chased. The Adept comes back over, gonna get one Ling, gonna look for another. Everything just joining up together here, just seeing an Oracle through the center as well. A couple of assimilators, a couple of probes all coming up. Our gate Adept still in the center of the map. And get rid of 2, 3 drones already. Just a little bit of damage done there. They still start. I mean, Doc is already on 26 drones to like 35, and I get he's still droning up right now as we speak, but oh, it already doesn't feel good for Doc. I don't know, man. He's gonna make some extra Lings now. I mean, that's just gonna slow down drone production further. Of course, herO is actually not producing probes right now either. He's gonna get himself towards the third base location. And he's going to cut probes to get that third base down. So that's going to be a chance for Dog to play catch-up then just a little bit. And Dog going to try and knock down these rocks. He does not want to be disrupted in the middle. He hasn't taken a second gas yet. When he does, I really believe it will be that forward Rich Vespine. Why wouldn't it be? And there it is right now. I was going to say, it's just because he's got this base, and I talked about taking that Rich Vespine. He's not really used it aggressively, but he doesn't necessarily have to, right? Because if you feel comfortable enough holding the base, then even now, taking the Rich Vespine is still a benefit. Yeah, you didn't use it super aggressively, you didn't use it to hit some kind of a timing or whatever. You don't necessarily have to. That's not in the rules of, like, that's how you must play this base. It's still a benefit to have later on, like right now, than it would have been to use aggressively at some point. And again, the weakness is that this base is, you know, more difficult to hold, but maybe he also feels like while it's more difficult to hold overall, it's also a base which right now is better to hold and take the gas off of now, because it might be even more difficult to hold later in the game when the Blink Stalkers start being even more aggressive. So maybe that's some of the thought process as well, take some of the resources off this base, before later on it might be much tougher to kind of hang on to with how quickly the Protoss can end up over on this side of the map. Oracle's coming through, just going to drop a little revelation down, going to catch some of those drones, just going to get that going. The Oracle's still moving around the top side, seeing our Stargate coming up, so continue to bring our Stargate into play. We've seen these Oracles coming back through, and just going to go after a Queen here. Queen taking a little bit of a few shots. You're going to be diving in. I mean, 5 Oracles again, just really looking for damage. You're going to find this Queen a little late. He didn't need to go in between all these Queens before firing. Now he loses 2 Oracles. 2 Oracles with 2 Queens. The Zerg takes that trade any day of the week. Absolutely. Well, Adept's going to shade around the right-hand side. I mean, obviously losing those couple Oracles definitely weakens your position here as herO, so that puts you into a bit of a weirder spot. Our Queen going to come through. A couple shots on the Oracles. Adepts are going to go shading by. And just going to move their way up in towards the natural expansion in the next couple of moments. So, put themselves in position over here. 5 more Ravagers producing. We do have our Oracles still out overhead. A couple of Overlords are producing as well. Again, actually quite a few Overlords on the way out. So, 5 Overlords in production. Ravager is building. Our Oracle's still chilling out in the center, and the Ravagers will drop a couple of Biles down here. A couple already landing. A Zealot taking some shots. Roaches and Ravagers hitting up at the front, just working our way through that Cybernetics core. And some decent damage as you see. Roaches and Queens continue to build. 10 Roaches, 3 Queens. Couple oracles coming out. The charge is about to finish up as well. Pylons are still producing. These adepts in the front are going to work their way through these initial creep tumors. So really pushing back some of the creep that's on your side of the map. But Dark was about ready to jump on this. He's only on 49 drones. He's pretty much going to go. Like, the Dark is only sat back here because he's like, are you going to attack into me? Are you like going to do my job for me? The oracles are an issue, right? I mean, we're just going to lose the queens here. These oracles are just going to straight commit through. But right now, killing queens and spores and potentially drones, it's nice. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if this army across the map is going to kill you and you don't have oracle energy left to deal with that. Yeah, herO built the second Stargate. I think I actually saw this and didn't mention it because I was on about a gas or so. and I apologize because obviously it's kind of baffling right now the fact that he had so many oracles, but that's because he has the second Stargate. And like I say, does he have the energy to actually deal with all of this Roach Ravager? We have a few more Roaches breaking through. I love these Ravagers morphing in the front. They're just going to tank a bunch of damage that will probably get healed up anyways. This is a race against time for Dark. He needs to go before, you know, and get enough done before these units get cleaned out. It's also a race against time for herO. He needs to clean this out before the Oracle energy disappears. And I think the Oracle energy... I thought the Oracle energy might have disappeared first, but the couple of extra Oracles are still going at it. Just the extra numbers of Oracles here are working out for him. The mass Oracle is kind of doing it, but now we're out of energy, so it's kind of rough. We're going to lose a pylon. We're going to lose power to one of our Stargates, as probes have already been pulled in to fight this, so Dark has already taken a worker lead on the back end of this now. Again, this is the issue, because now the Oracles, they don't just have to wait for energy, they have to wait for enough energy, because you also work with, you know, every time you activate the Pulsar Beam, it's a set energy cost as well. These Zealots are coming through. They're slowing down these Roaches, but they're finally going to be able to focus on this mineral line, and probes will begin to drop. It might be worth depowering the Stargate, right? I mean, more Oracles surely are only an issue for you, although there's a pylon on the top that... Oh, it doesn't reach the pylon on the top! I was actually convinced the pylon on the top was going to reach there. Now we're going to chase those Zealots a little bit. Can herO get enough energy on these Oracles to make a difference? Obviously, Oracles don't care about armor, so their Pulsar Beams do zap through both Roaches and Morphing Ravagers. Dark does not have reinforcements enough here just yet. Now he's building spores back at home. He does finish off the natural Nexus. And this game just gets straight crazy. Natural Nexus down. Oracles gathering back up in the main. Oracles and Zealots will come forward here. Just going to go pushing up. The Roaches of Dark are going to escape away. herO has finally stabilized. He's dealt with the attacks for the moment. Queens and Roaches will join together. And now we're building Phoenix. I think I like that. Why do I like it? Because I think the idea here is that the Oracles are going to be very good. If you already have enough firepower in the Oracles. But what the Phoenix can do is take away some of the units that are going to try and defend against the Oracles. If you just lift up, see you get a 4 to 6 Phoenix and you lift up like 6 Queens right now. That's like half of the anti-air, right? And maybe you're also terrified of Dark building a Spire behind this because you have absolutely no anti-air yourself. So maybe it's like a double whammy of like safety first and being very cautious about what Dark might have followed up with because it's been a weird game. But the Phoenix also have potential to be pretty reasonable, right? Yeah, interesting choice. We just see our Phoenix coming around, the Oracles moving through, and again, Spore Crawlers are doing a lot of the zoning on this air army at the moment. Dark is launching an attack. He's going down the center again. The Phoenix going to pick away through some Overlords. The Roaches actually going to be met by a lot of Zealots already, and out in the open, those Zealots will do very well against a smaller group of Roaches, and they're just going to push those back straight away. Going to keep doubling down on the Phoenix. We're going to build more of them. Two more Phoenix just building up here. We do have last Storm from Dark. Oh my god. He was on hatch check this entire time. That's kind of awkward, isn't it? Yeah, just being on hatch check this entire way through. Obviously, I mean, I guess that's kind of not surprising considering the way the game has gone. It's just funny to kind of, you know, re-notice it again, especially with the game having settled down. It's like, well, surely he would have started a lab by now. But no, he really hadn't, so it's kind of funky. The Phoenix are doing a little bit of holding off right here. Can they hold off long enough? The Oracles are not coming back home. They're going to gather up, and I thought they were about to recall, but I mean, surely this is the moment where you start bringing these Oracles back, right? preferably before these queens go on the creep. Here we go. So this is, like I say, kind of part of the plan. We're going to lift up a lot of these queens, and then the oracles should fly in, but the oracles just weren't here. Like I say, they were very late to arrive. I do feel like that's a massive mistake. Phoenix is going to lift up the queens again. But yeah, the oracle's just sitting at home for such a long time from here. I don't know what he was doing with them. He was practically AFK, and now I just don't think you've got enough. I think now you've lost too much as here. Your oracle count especially has been taking some shots. This is always going to be a very volatile army. You kind of had to win it in one big go. I just don't think it's going to be enough as Roach Queen pushes on through. The oracle count is dropping down, and so is the queen count, to be fair, but the Phoenix are not going to deal with all these roaches, and these roaches are going to get rid of a base, a very important base, long before they kind of get stopped. The charge lots just can't get into good enough numbers to fight roaches that are in this good a number as well. There's never going to be an extremely successful surround, and there is your GG's as Dark takes game 2. Wow. Bonkers games that these guys are playing. 5, and we have got him in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood to kick off game number 3. Now, Red Zerg is Dark. Top right. Now, a blue Protoss player from Dragon Kaiser Gaming as well. This is herO. Just curious why you did not use the oracles before to get some of the roaches while flying by, because every time you activate the oracles, there's a baseline cost of activating their attack. It doesn't just drain energy per second. You have to pay the cost to activate the attack, and then it drains energy per second. And that's the issue. The issue is you have to be very careful when you turn the oracles on and when you turn them off, because you can't just turn them on because then they'll just drain forever, and you just can't turn them on and off all the time because then they drain from the activation energy. So that's probably why. I'm not sure what exact moment you were talking about, but that is my most reasonable guess as to why he was probably not taking what were perhaps some obvious pickoffs, because he wanted to preserve to have enough energy for what was perhaps going to be the bigger fight. I was surprised when he kind of dove the main base, though. Like, when he activated the main, that was not really expected, to be honest. Couple drones coming through, spawning pool, hatchery, all setting up. Spawning pool coming on in. Nexus, cool. All of this getting set in the early stages. Probe coming around. Again, Stargate is building. Nexus coming through. Again, just a lot of getting going. Stargate again. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of excited, though, because these games have been very different to what we've been seeing from PvZ. PvZ kind of lost its glow for me a little bit recently, because I've just seen so many Zergs getting bopped early game by Oracles, and then, like, Blinkstalker follow-up, and this one is obviously not really being like that at all. It's been very different, very unique. These last couple of games are very down and into this series. You could have just activated a few oracles. Yeah, I mean, very possible. I'm sure there's some reason for it, though. Because the thing is, I guess if you only activate a few, how quickly are you killing those roaches that like you catch? It's hard for me to say without knowing which exact part of the game you guys are talking about, I guess. Because obviously I'm on a 2-minute delay, so it's hard to match up in my head which part you were talking about. But I get it. Like, I mean, it might have just been a mistake. Maybe you should have done right. Oracle hanging around, a couple of adepts pulling back toward the third base. And there's our warp gate coming through. Just going to be seeing our Nexus building up. Oracle is going to come down in towards the bottom side. We're going to grab one drone straight away. And a few Zerglings going to push in toward the Nexus. And yeah, Lair coming up, a few more drones coming in. Queen on the way out. All of this getting established at the moment here from Dark as herO gets a Twilight Council up and running as well. And a couple more probes, a Stalker, all continuing in also. So a few drones, just going to be going through, just going to be seeing a couple of gates going into play as well. We do start the blink. It's going to be, what, 2 oracles only into blink, so a very different pace of game here from herO. Not even the 3rd oracle, right? As whoever is... And he was usually very good at watching what's going on, but, just going to be seeing our oracles. Continue to move around. Let's jump onto this camera for a little bit. So a few drones going down. And Dark's going to build a Hydra Den. Well, a Hydra Den is almost always aggressive. Like, you don't usually build a Hydra Den at this stage of a game to kind of just macro. There should be a lot of Hydras, probably maybe even a Musco Augment, just a speed upgrade to get them across the map. Let's see how aggressive he is. I mean, he adds on a few more drones now, so maybe I'm wrong. Spines coming up, a couple of Hydras, drones all coming in. The oracles will get a queen, we'll get a drone. And the 2 gateways and the blink all coming up. As our oracles come back around in the center. Down to the south. Potentially chance for some more drones here from this bottom direction. As that Ling Hydra producing, we do have the Hydras just popping on out. Oh, are we going to go across the map? Oh, you're not. He gets Groove Spines. I thought he might get Muscular Augments to go across the map with a bit of speed. This might just, I mean, honestly, as Blink is finishing already from herO, this might just end up being defensive whether Dark likes it or not, because the Stalkers are about ready to go and fight as well. Now, Dark doesn't have any upgrades for later in this game. It still feels like he's absolutely committed to doing something game-ending with this Ling Hydra. Stalker start up. Feeling's already taking some damage on this bottom side. We do have our Hydra setting up as well. Going to take a turn around. The Stalker's getting pushed back here. Obviously on the other side. It's getting a little bit of a scout in as you do have these Stalkers. They come through. The Lings should be able to see that stasis and set it off without too much of an issue. In a way, they kind of force-fielded the Stalkers in as they wrapped around there, maybe trying to force the blink. Muscular Organs will go a huge way to helping Dark out. Having the speed upgrade on these Hydras should help massively, of course, in terms of keeping them in range, in terms of keeping them in some of these fights that are not currently really going, well, not going badly, but just not going great either, right? Let's do have our Stalker still pushing down to the bottom once again, so in we go. Gonna drop the Robo facility back at home, get that started up as well as our Hydralisks are starting to make a little bit of a defense here. And holding out, spreading. Most of these Stalkers going through too. Still a few more Hydras just on the way in. 6 Hydras, 12 Lings. Still watching that Muscular Augments come on in. Gonna knock down both the Oracles. That's a great catch as Dark. Now gonna jump on these Stalkers. Well, the Oracles are huge because we've seen repeatedly at this stage, right, that Oracles have been and Stasis Wards have been a major way that Protoss players have been winning these games. So to knock down the Oracles is actually a big win. herO works around the right-hand side. He's going to go for this base. I don't know if Dark wants to... Okay, I actually like what Dark's doing. He's going to set up the surround. He's going to come around here with this chunk of units. He's going to have this bit of Ling Hydra pushing back. He's going to lose the base. And now herO, he's probably... he's still got the bottom right to escape to. And Dark just couldn't get there soon enough. If Dark was like here, then the Stalkers at least have to blink through the Hydras, which isn't fun. You see these Hydras, feel them turn around, but there's... Okay, yeah, now we actually do have to just recall because the Hydras come across the other side. hero's on 4 bases, man. Like I say, Dark is aggressive, right? I said he was probably going to all in off this, and there wasn't an immediate all in, but he's still only on 60 drones, and I mean, he is committing. This 4th base of herO will drop, that's just obvious, and we do have a Lurker Den on the way up. Hey, what if we just get like a few Lurkers up and added into this? It could be very cute. There's a little bit of additional splash damages right now. herO's numbers don't look great. RoboBay has just finished. What do we build to try and fend this off. I think in a pinch you build disruptors, and that's exactly what herO begins to do. Because the disruptors at least can maybe come into play quickly enough to make a difference here as Dog not taking a good fight with the Concave of Protoss up that ramp. He'll spread out now. He does have the Lurk Den. Is that going to make a difference? I don't think so, because the Lurkers won't have their upgrades. They're not going to be anywhere near as good as they usually would be. Dark will try and take another hatchery. Don't think this game's really working out for Dark at all. I think this one is, yeah, not really going his way in the slightest just yet as the Stalkers continue through. More Lurkers on the way up. If we can get these Lurkers to burrow, then it might just deflect herO for long enough to give Dark another chance at this. A lot of Ling still just dropping down. Our Stalkers keep on pushing. Disruptor pops out of the Robo facility. We get around the back of this hatch. It will take some extra damage, and our Lings come through. Hydras keep on fighting. A couple of these Stalkers continue to drop down, blinking to the low ground even. Big push back to the top side of the map. Disruptor shot fire is going to kill a couple of these Hydras. Hydras going back around the right side. A lot of Stalkers continue to go down. Zealot's still taking a lot of damage. Lurkers are burrowed up, and our Stalkers continue to take fights here. These Hydras continue to trade. Alright, well, I mean, drones are dying. The Zealot counterattack is doing huge amounts. Can we do enough over here as Dark? Well, he actually dodges that Disruptor shot, so that helps. Any Disruptor shot you get away from is nice. We try and spread. I don't think Dark has the power to really get through. Also, the upgrades, by the way. 2-1 for herO. It's not really a fair fight when you consider that. And yes, it does look as though herO is going to be outed by... or going to be able to out Dark in this game number 3. And we are going to have still finals on our hands, so this is not going to end overly quickly. It was starting to really look as though Dark was just very dominating, but... yeah, this whole Hydra thing just never really got going. And I think his initial plans to be aggressive never really had a chance. GG's. Top left-hand side, our red Zerg player. This is going to be Dark. He's still up 2-1 in this series. Let's see if he can close this one out. In the bottom right, blue Protoss player is going to be herO. His teammates getting back into this, making the finals of it. Let's go. Alright then, let's see what this game brings us. It has been a fun series, right? There's been a few different things going on. There's been a lot of little bits of action. Very cool. That was kind of a weird game. One Zealot run by one. No. The Dark was all in anyways. Like, whether the Zealot run by hits or not, I don't think the Zealot run by... the Zealot run by maybe guaranteed he was all in, but I think Dark was all in anyways, to the point where he was going to go and send it. The Zealots were kind of an inevitability, right? Where hero's always going to send them because he knows that Dark can't turn around easily with Ling Hydra. Like, Lings don't deal with the Zealots well. Hydras are too slow to run back every time. And Dark had to go because hero's getting into a better and better setup with Robobay coming through. I think Dark lost simply for the fact that he was still just stuck on Ling Hydra while herO was getting those upgrades up. And he had timings, like there was moments where it was like, maybe he was able to do it, maybe he was going to have enough, but not quite in the end. Ling speed, a few Lings, a couple Queens. Already coming through. We just see our probe going in, chase down a couple of those drones for a little bit. The probe gonna pull back. Stargate is building on the side of herO. Nexus is coming through. Adept is coming in. Just gonna see our Wolfgate starting up as well. Things come in. It's going to come through. A couple of probes getting chrono boosted out. Just going around, the Ling getting chased, the Ling into the bottom side, going to move into the main base, Oracle coming out as well. Teleprobes come in, the Ling gets chased back. Again, Ling speed still coming through and just going to be seeing the Adept is able to come across. And we kill the Ling. Nice. Sport Crawl's coming up, a few more Lings and drones continuing through. Just going to see our Queen coming in, our Oracles, our Warp Gate. All of this setting through for the moment as our Lings just get pushed around. Queen's just going to get that Oracle and push it back over the left-hand side. This Oracle still producing off the Stargate here. A hatchery about to finish up as well. And yeah, I mean, Gate, Nexus, all of this coming through. The Warp Gate is finishing up as well. Our Queen is also building on the side of Dark. 5 more drones, couple of Overlords, all of this being built up for now. Drones go down as the Adepts do get in though, so we are pretty good for some initial bit of damage. Two more drones, couple all getting picked off then. We do have 7 drones, Roach Roaring, all setting up. Just going to be seeing our Forge, our Twilight Council, continuing through Gateways, Nexus, building up as well. Oracles work around the left, just going to dive in. The Queens are here immediately, and the Oracles will get pushed away. Blink is coming up. A couple of Adepts still coming in. +1 attack coming through too. Gateways and the cannon all producing. As we do have our Oracles in the center. Queens are here to just push those Oracles back. Roaches producing on the side of Dark, so just bringing that up. We do have our Adepts going to go for a little bit of a shade around, even maybe going to commit on top of something here. The Oracles are heading toward the main base. Roaches, Lings continuing through. We do have ourselves the few Roaches coming back around the center. The Oracles in the main are going to get rid of a few more drones again, so herO doing some very good damage. I mean, Dark obviously does not want to play a longer game. He just wants to kill herO and repeat here. That is apparently the plan. He does not have intentions of letting this go long in the slightest. And because of that, he's coming straight across the map with blood on the mind. He wants to absolutely grab this. As our Roaches, Queens, Lings come through. Got some shots onto the Oracles already. There's a couple of Oracles activating, a couple of Lings taking damage. Just going to be seeing a couple of Corrosive Vials coming in there as well. Adepts and Stalkers pulling over to the right-hand side. We do have Vials continuing into the Cybernetics core. Super Battery will buy you some time on this wall-off. Time is your best friend here as herO, because Blinking +1's about to finish, and more time means more warp-ins. You just generally scale well at this point because your extra gates are online. You're getting full warp-in cycles. You've already invested into all the tech that you need. And can Dark break through in time here? He's going to force the Stalkers back with the Corrosive Vials. He will finally kill the Cybercore. So herO gets one more warp-in before the Cybercore falls, but he's already built another. So actually he was very aware of what Dark is trying to do. So we'll have another. We'll be able to warp in Stalkers on his next warp in as well. While on the front is going to lose power. No battery in the natural any longer. 2 gateways depowered as well. But Dark's army is just not looking as scary as it once was. The Queens are backing it up home. He's droning. And that means that herO is going to end up in a very good position here. He's going to get a couple of units as they try to retreat. And obviously Dark, he's all sorts of all in. He doesn't have a lair, guys, so he is once again just hatch tech, all in, completely in trouble right now. As our Oracles fly through, gonna go after a drone, gonna look for 2. Queen gets there, pushing the Oracles back over the side. Couple of Biles continue to drop on down. So let's get another couple of those creep teamers picked off already. Overlord's also taking some shots. A couple of those OVs going down. Ling's taking damage as well. You see our Stalker's going to go and grab themselves an Overlord too. Just going to knock that down. Oracles and Stalkers together. We'll move back down to the south. So down to the south we go. Grip spread being cleared out. Another little revelation coming in. Stalkers blink off to the side. The Lings are there to chase those Stalkers. We do have our +1 missiles, our +1 carapace, our roach speed, all producing. Still got charge, +2 and +1. Building as well. Our creep team is going down. Our queens are being chased. It's another revelation as we see a little bit more of this creep continue to just drop, and our Stalkers gonna go clean out one more Overlord. Of course, herO with all the upgrades continue to finish. I mean, he is just getting to a better and better spot. Dark is going to try, with the lair tech in play, to go Infestation Pit. Maybe this is a game where you just try and get some of those Infestors up, and you just hope for those absolutely ludicrously good Fungals. Fungals that can obviously then dictate a lot of what happens afterwards, and all of that kind of goodness. So, that'll be kind of my guess as to what we see here. Stalkers and Oracles continue forward. A little bit of creep spread. We're going to be cleaned on up. It's just clearing out that. And the Roach Ravage is still just kind of lurking and moving around in the upper left. +3 attack, +1 armor charge. A lot of upgrades building here from herO as he does get the extra gates coming through too. Even have a couple of extractors around on the left side as well as our Stalkers and our Oracles move up. Gonna blink straight on forward. This hatchery already in trouble. Corrosive Vials coming down. Stasis Ward. Okay, goes up but is gonna get bowed down immediately. Actually catches the Broodlings. Okay, why not, I guess. Doesn't really make a difference. Fourth base dead from Dark, and without that, he's in trouble, guys. I mean, he's just not meant to win this game after failing the earlier attack. herO's going to make a full-on grand finals of this series. He is going to take us all the way through to Game 5. As we do have the Roaches going to sit tight against these Zealots and the Adepts. And herO just, again, backing it up down the bottom side. Stalkers continue to move around. The Adepts are going to shade into this mineral line. We start to kill off a bunch of these Dronies. The Roach and the Ravage continue through. The Adepts continue to get cleaned up. That's 4 workers killed, and still seeing herO pushing up the left side to see what else we can get up to as our Roaches and our Ravagers coming in. Our Queens there to push everything back into the Revelation. Just going to attack the Roach Ravager, keep things away also. Those couple of Infestors just kind of peeling out over on the sides. Still waiting for their chance to maybe bring Dark back into this game. It's a very unlikely situation at this point, but you gotta try it. That's it. I mean, that's it. That's the sort of fungal growth you want to get. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. That is actually kind of what you're looking for. Well, these Zealots just suicide on this hatchery. Are we maybe opening up a world where there is perhaps too many losses here from herO and Dark could counterattack? I mean, Dark kind of has to go. He's got basically no economy left. But 11 minutes in game, the main's mining out. The natural is wearing thin. Oh my god, the Fungals have been so good. He doesn't find the biles to follow up on those Oracles, unfortunately, but now the Oracles are going to try and go for this hatch as well. We really can't lose this. This really is like the only healthy base of Dark. Okay, Dark. It's time to F2A click across the map, right? We gotta just go. This is not a game any longer where you can mess around or anything like that. It is just time to go, I think. Roaches, Infestors, the Ravagers gathering on the left. We see the +2 armor coming up as well. All these Infestors still coming in. A couple more hatcheries being built as well. Oracle still getting established here, and just seeing the Roach Ravager Infestor moving on the left side. See our Zealots then still taking just a little bit more damage. Our Hive coming up, our Zealots and Disruptors continue through. The Roaches are there to pick away at those Zealots. Another couple of Corrosive Vials coming down. Queens, Roaches, etc. coming through. Our army is going to move around a little bit as well as our Observer going to get a bit of a scoot around the top. His Disruptor is going to lead up the charge. I mean, we really have had Dark do a lot to get back in this, but a disruptor shot like that's going to do a lot of his work. That was a lot of supply instantly just disappearing, and, well, we do just have disruptor shots that'll continue to fight. Oh my god! Another disgusting disruptor shot. As the Fungals are doing what they can, we drop some microbial shards for fun, and why the hell not? And herO will take us all the way to Game 5. We will go the full distance in. I'm just going to keep on casting StarCraft, TLDR. Might take a couple minutes to get some food, as we do have in the bottom right. Our blue Zerg player. This is Dark. Extractor tricking it up, as in the top left, our red Protoss. herO. Pro comes to try and block the hatchery. The Dark, with the Extractor Trick 15 hatch, is going to find himself a hatchery before the probe gets there. So everyone's going to try out this build a little bit here and there, aren't they? It's kind of fun. All of our players just kind of mixing up this kind of new style that we've seen developing. I like it. I like it. We do get a natural hatchery on location. And, yeah, we'll see what herO does about that. Probably means your Stargate Twilight builds are a bit worse when you have the natural hatchery on location. So maybe if you was thinking of mixing it up, that will now be off the bucket list. So that has a Chasm Pool all coming up right here. A little bit of establishment getting going to start out with. Our Nexus and our Cybercore coming in as well in these early stages. And Probe coming up also. As our spawning pool is not too far from rounding out. And a couple Lings, a couple Queens, all being set up. A drone coming out as well. And just waiting to see where we go to as our Probe moves out from the natural, moves across the map. A couple Lings are going to come in to try and chase that probe just a little bit, hunting it down. The probe going to turn back around as well, really trying to decide what it wants to do here. The Ling will go chasing the probe up in towards the top side of the map. Stargate is coming through, Ling speed, and a few more drones are being produced as well. What am I eating for lunch? I don't know. Leftovers from yesterday. Hot pot. I don't know how to call it. I'll just call it hot pot. It's like just potatoes, vegetables, mince, gravy. That was all cooked in a single bowl or dish in the oven. Call that what you want. Going to be seeing our Adept is going to shade up here. Getting some damage done. Just going to see a few Lings looking to try and wrap around it as the Adept kind of gets shaded away over to the right hand side. The few drones and the Lings continuing up for the moment. And both these Adepts will just gather on the bottom. Again, Ling speed coming through. The drones and Lings producing in good numbers. Obviously, Dark has to make sure these Adepts don't get too much done. We've seen repeatedly these Adepts getting so much damage. Adepts and Oracles combined just doing so much damage. And maybe in part that's why Dark's played so aggressively. He's been more forced to kind of play like this than anything else. 3 drones do go down, and then the Oracle shows up. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, the Protoss players are just getting so ridiculously good at dealing damage early game, right? Like, it's kind of becoming genuinely a problem. That pylon fully walled, and the probe couldn't get back into the natural. Did we want to fully wall here? I guess so. We just don't have a unit right now. Warpgate wasn't ready, so yeah, it wasn't ready to deal with those Lings. There was a reason behind that. It made sense that it just looked funny that you locked the probe out. It's kind of funny. Things back around the top. Our Oracle's still hanging around. Oracles make their way down to the south. The Ling's up to the top. Gonna try and get a wrap around here. The Adept initially going to get caught. As the oracles come to dive in, queen is going to get picked off. Second queen also going to get picked off. These oracles having a good time. They just deactivated the pulsar beams, otherwise that would have been a drone as well on top of it. Nidus Network, this is going to be our final game. Link Queen Nidus. Dog really just has stayed on the aggressive side of things for the most part in this series, and he's going to finish it off with the same idea. Link Queen Nidus, if you don't know about this, it can be dangerous. There is a lot of space in hero's mate he just does not see. If his preparation against this truly is just a 0, he's dead, right? Like this is just ugly. Now, we get some overlords on the way up. Nidus will be getting ready to build in a second. Right now, these Lings running across the map, they take the attention of the oracles over here, so they're going to keep the oracles away from scouting the Nidus on the other side of the map. They're going to keep the Nidus from being scouted over here. And herO is currently, I mean, still just kind of dealing with Lings. And if all the queens get out, obviously the oracles aren't going to be that great. We do start batteries and a forge now, but yeah, in the main base, for the Nidus, we're going to start dropping a creep team. Only 3 queens pop out at first, by the way. Do have more. I guess losing those 2 queens earlier really actually hurts your queen count. That's actually a bit of an issue, as we are going to kill off the pylon, however, that is currently powering everything in this main. The queens are going to hop into the Nidus. I love that, because they really didn't have a way to deal with the oracles there, but a few more queens will maybe make that possible. Going to pop out now. We're going to transfuse. We just don't have the queen firepower, do we? Wow, okay. This is actually just a very weak attack from Dog. I think really what it comes down to is that he lost the 2 queens. GG's. herO takes it. I think he lost these 2 queens over here, and I think that was a way bigger deal than it maybe seemed like at the time. But obviously, if he has 5 queens at first when he first pops out,